This country claims it hasn't had a single COVID-19 case. Activists say that's a lie, or at least, that's what the Central Asian country's secretive, authoritarian government claims. Turkmenistan, a former Soviet republic home to nearly 6 million people, is one of at least 5 countries that have not reported any coronavirus cases, according to a review of data collected by Johns Hopkins University and the World Health Organization. 3 of those are isolated islands in the Pacific, and the 4th is North Korea, a tightly controlled hermit state. Turkmenistan's repressive president Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov, who has ruled since 2006, has dismissed reports of COVID-19 in the country as fake and told the United Nations in an address Tuesday that the response to the pandemic shouldn't be politicized. Ruslan Mayatov, an exile from Turkmenistan and editor of the Netherlands-based independent news organization Turkmen News, said he has personally assembled the names of more than 60 people who he claimed have died of COVID-19 inside the country, including teachers, artists, and doctors.
Mayatov said he has verified all the recorded deaths with health records and X-rays, revealing severe lung damage and medical treatment consistent with coronavirus victims. Instead of accepting it and cooperating with the international community, Turkmenistan decided to stick its head in the sand, said Mayatov. How it unfolded as COVID-19 spread around the world at the start of 2020, Turkmenistan insisted it had no cases, even as bordering countries reported skyrocketing outbreaks. Iran, with which Turkmenistan shares a long land border, has reported one of the world's largest COVID-19 outbreaks with nearly 5.5 million total cases, according to the World Health Organization. You look at what's happening at other countries in the region and how different could Turkmenistan possibly be, said Rachel Denver, Deputy Europe and Central Asia Director at Human Rights Watch. According to the websites of the British and Australian foreign ministries, all flights into Turkmenistan are currently suspended and only Turkmen citizens are allowed to enter the country. In June 2020, the U.S. Embassy in the capital, Ashgabat, issued a health alert warning of reports of local citizens with symptoms consistent with COVID-19 undergoing COVID-19 testing and being placed in quarantine for up to 14 days. The Turkmenistan government immediately called the statement fake news. A mission to Turkmenistan in July 2020 did not confirm any coronavirus infections inside the country, but did say it was concerned about increased numbers of cases of acute respiratory infection and pneumonia. One WHO official said Turkmenistan should act as if COVID-19 was circulating. By then, the situation was out of control, according to Mayatov. The government advised citizens to take bizarre public health measures, such as eating a particular type of spicy soup. In January of this year, Turkmenistan announced it had approved Russia's Sputnik V coronavirus vaccine for use in the country. Then in June, the World Bank agreed to lend $20 million to the Turkmenistan government, mostly for health facilities and construction, as part of a program to prevent, detect, and respond to the threat posed by COVID-19. As recently as Tuesday, President Berdimuhamedov said the efforts of the global community in addressing the COVID-19 pandemic were insufficient, although he did not mention the situation inside his own country. The pandemic has exposed serious systemic failings in the international response to this challenge, he said. Turkmenistan is burning despite Berdimuhamedov's claims that his country is COVID-free. The reality inside Turkmenistan is starkly different, according to independent journalists and activists. Diana Sarabrianik, director of Europe-based Exiles Group Rights and Freedoms of Turkmenistan Citizens, said her organization had heard from contacts in the country that hospitals there are currently struggling to deal with the influx of cases. Sarabrianik said Turkmen doctors from her organization who were now living overseas were in touch with their former colleagues in the country, allowing them to find out the real situation and provide advice. She said doctors inside Turkmenistan had told her both oxygen and ventilators were hard to come by in the country, treatment was expensive, and deaths from the virus could be in the thousands. Turkmenistan is burning, it's burning with COVID. Sometimes they do not even accept patients to the hospital, they just send them home, she said. When health workers have tried to speak up about the reality on the ground, they have been pressured into silence, according to non-profit Human Rights Watch. Turkmen citizens who peacefully criticize the government have faced severe punishments, according to Human Rights Watch, including reports of torture and disappearances. Foreign residents have also been affected by the Turkmenistan government's coronavirus denials. In July 2020, Turkish diplomat Kemal Özkan was admitted to hospital in Ashgabat with COVID-like symptoms but was refused permission to evacuate to his home country, according to the Journal of Asian Affairs. According to the BBC, X-rays sent to Turkish hospitals by Özkan's wife were confirmed to show evidence of COVID-19. The Journal of Asian Affairs said Özkan died on July 7. His official cause of death was heart failure. Most recently, lieOr said he had confirmed the death of a 61-year-old Russian language and literature teacher, who had been in hospital since August, according to Turkmen News. Undermining the rosy picture, multiple authoritarian governments around the world have announced their COVID-19 outbreaks and received international assistance, including China, the earliest country affected. So why is Turkmenistan so insistent that it has still not seen a single case? Cerebranic said Berdi Muhammadov, 64, wanted to appear like a savior to the country and an impressive world leader by keeping COVID-19 out. Turkmenistan is a country where everything in the garden looks rosy. You have those marble, state-of-the-art equipped with German, French, Japanese, whatever, equipment, journalist lieOr said. It would be someone's failure, someone would have to bear responsibility for that, and who has the ultimate word for that? The president lieOr said. There has been no indication yet that Turkmenistan is preparing to reverse its position and admit to having COVID-19 cases inside the country. But Cerebranic said she believed the government would have to eventually. She said there had just been too much death. Human Rights Watch's Denver said international organizations interacting with Turkmenistan, including WHO, had a duty to be honest with the world about the situation inside the country.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.